Hi traders, welcome back to the Price Action Volume Trader channel. So today I'm bringing you a new updated video on the TradingView TPO or market profile indicator. I had made a video on this at the end of 2023, I think around December, when this indicator was in beta mode and they were just starting to test it out. But as of think around April, it's already been released as a full-fledged indicator, and it's already fully capable with all the functions that they have for now. It is still, not as powerful as other platforms. Like if you compare it to Sierra Chart or packages, indicator packages you can get on like NinjaTrader or other platforms, it's definitely not as powerful, but I still think, if you're a TradingView user, which most people are, then I definitely think this is a great addition, and it's just good to see that TradingView is stepping up their game and starting to bring in more serious order flow studies into their lineup. Okay, I've already made videos on the new footprint chart indicator, cumulative delta, the volume candle, so a lot of new things. So make sure to check all those videos out in my channel homepage and on my playlists. And let's dive right in. So first things first, here we have just a regular, I'm going to be using a NASDAQ chart here, but this indicator is applicable to any market. Remember, market profile, the chart is what we call TPO, time price opportunity. And so this is going to be measuring mostly the trading activity as divided into 30-minute block intervals. This works on any kind of market. You can use this on futures, stocks, forex, crypto, etc. Okay, so this is how my dark theme chart, and as you can see, I just have this is a 30-minute time frame. Okay, you can use any time frame you want, but in general, when I'm using market profile, since I know that every block we use is 30 minutes long, I always like to by default just put in on a 30-minute time frame. Okay, so right up here on this arrow, if you bring this down, you can see you have all the different ways that you can display indicators. If you go down here, you can see time price opportunity and is labeled as new. I already have a little star on it, so I have it on my favorites tab. So that way you can see that I have it all up here, so it's ready to go. I can just click it right away, and it's a little shortcut. One thing to keep in mind, this indicator, you do need to have the premium plan on TradingView. Okay, so if you have a free TradingView account, you're not going to get access to it. You need the premium or higher plan, so it is in one of their more expensive tiered plans. Okay, so this is how it comes up by default. So I'm just going to open up the settings, and we're going to go over all the settings together, and I'm going to customize it the way I like to use it. And then we're just going to discuss in general, all the different elements on it. And then I'm also going to bring up right here, I have my market profile that I have on Sierra Chart, and I'm just going to demonstrate some of the differences and things that are able to do in Sierra Chart, for example, that we can still not really do on TradingView. Okay, so let's just go settings from top to bottom one by one. So price source, I just keep it standard at close. Line, this is going to be the price line, which you can see up here like moving. In general, when I'm looking at market profile, I don't really care about looking at a price line. So I'm just going to bring this back and make it invisible. Now, time price opportunity periods, you can make a weekly or a monthly or whatever amount of days or weeks, etc. profiles you want. In general, I would always look at the individual session TPOs split between extended hours and regular hours. Or you can use a whole day profile if you're doing like markets like crypto or Forex. It's just a 24-hour period. Or you can have like a weekly, which is a great way to analyze more long term. Block size, I always just keep it at 30 minutes. That's the default in market profile. Row size, this is something that ever since I reviewed the original beta version, I don't really like the auto setting. Basically what this does, it is going to customize the size of the rows that you see here. But I don't like it because they always look very chunky and big. And when I'm looking at a market profile, just like a volume profile, I want to see detail on the edges of the nodes, etc. So I tend to just go manual. And remember, this is based on the price scale of this instrument. So if you're looking at like the ES, which right now is in like the low 5,000s, you can use less ticks per row. But if you're using, like in this case, NQ, which is at 18,200s, I found a tick size of about 8 is going to give me a good definition. You know, you can just play around with it. It's going to take a little bit of time to load. There it is. So you can see now we get a lot more definition on this. We can probably even go lower. I mean, you can just test it out. Just when you zoom out a lot, you know, it's going to look very small. So you might just have to zoom in. That's one thing with market profile is it takes up a lot of screen real estate. So you're usually going to have, if you have like a high definition screen is going to be good because you're going to be able to zoom up more. So let's see, 6 ticks per row looks like a good balance here. Value area, I always like to have it at 68. I use the same setting for volume profile. Gradient colors. This is going to be from here on. This is from the open all the way to the close. So it's basically going to be a gradient where it's going to show you the earlier colors. So in general, I like to use gray tones. So what I'm going to do is just put there from lightest to darkest gray. So now I know that where it is more white, that's near the open, and as it gets darker, that's near the closing areas. Okay, next one, blocks or letters. So in this case, both are set, but if I zoom in here, so it's set at blocks, so it's going to stay as block. If I take blocks off and letters on, you can see that it still looks as blocks. If you want the letters to show, you have to zoom in a lot. Once you zoom in, see, now you can see the letters, okay? So if you really want to display the letters and look at them more easily, you're going to have to kick up the ticks a lot. And when you go up on the ticks, you're going to lose some of the definition, but then you're going to be getting more, is going to show when you're more zoomed out. So in this case, see, if I'm here, it's blocks. If I zoom in a little bit, it turns into letters. And we know with letters, the beginning or the first period is going to be A. Then after half an hour, we go to B. After half an hour, we go to C, etc. Okay? If you're looking at extended hours and regular trading hours in futures, it is going to change a little bit because on TradingView, you cannot really split it by sessions yet. So it will not start on the letter A all the time. Okay, so that's blocks and letters. Opacity outside of valley area. So that one is right over here. If I take this down and up, you can see pretty much The value area here, or the 68% of the time that this day spent trading, was within this range. So this setting is basically the opacity for all the time that the market spent outside of value area. So I generally like to have it, just a little bit darker than the value area just to distinguish it. And we're going to enable the lines too. Split by blocks. So this is a setting where this is one of the big limitations that I found with TradingView, in the sense that you can either select to split everything or just have everything as regular market profile. So if I click split by block, you can see that now it's going to split it. So basically what is going to be showing me is each one of these columns is going to be one period. So this is the A period, first half hour, B period, C period, etc. And if we would put a half hour candlestick chart, it's basically going to be the same thing as looking at this. If I put a 30-minute chart, you can see it's the same candlesticks that we have, only is going to be showing it in block form, okay? And the advantage of doing this is that you're going to be able to split and see how the profile evolved. But as I said, one of the things that is still not able to do is to have it side by side, split and regular profile, okay? If you go, let me show you quickly on Sierra chart. Let's say I go into let's say this profile right here for this day. I can right click on it and put letters, blocks, and own column and standard profile. I do this, and now I get a side by side. This is just a regular trading hour. So this is from 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. But you can see now I have a regular profile and then the same one split by 30-minute block intervals. Okay, so this is one thing that I really like to do when I'm looking at market profiles, but unfortunately on TradingView this is not yet possible at the moment. You either split everything or you have to just have them all regular. There is some settings that I'm going to talk about later. When you right click on it, you have some extra options. We're going to talk about those later on. Okay, so let's keep going over the settings here. Let me zoom in. Okay, so that was the gradients, split. Now the lines and labels. So point of control, I have it here. It's in black, so you can't really notice it. I generally like to use orange. So this is the point of control. So this is the price level that the market traded the most amount of time during this session or day. Okay. Next, we have poor highs, poor lows. So let's see if we find, so right here, we have a poor low. Poor highs or poor lows are basically when we're lacking an excess at the top or the bottom of a profile, okay? By excess, we mean a single row of blocks. In this case, you can see that we have a blunt edge here with two blocks side by side. And so we get this purple line here to mark off the poor highs, poor lows. Generally, I like to use a light purple for this. This is just the colors that I'm used to using in Sierra charts. So I'm just pretty much translating the same things here into TradingView. So here you can see this is a nice edge of a TPO chart where you have an excess, where there was basically a wick and then a big rejection, okay? Whereas here, this was equal to like a double bottom, basically, okay? So that's poor highs, poor lows. Single prints, I like to put this in pink. And the single prints, what it's going to show us is basically where we have an impulsive move and the market is going to leave a single print like we have over here. As you can see, In this case, we had this push up, and during this 30-minute period, there was only for a 30-minute period did we have price movement through this levels here, between here and here. So this is what we call single prints. And if we look at this on a regular chart, this is going to look as an impulsive move. So like right here, if I put a regular chart, you can see that we had, this is that move. This push up here, this candle, we left a gap from here all the way to here. So this is a single print when we look at it through the eyes of a TPO chart, as we can see right over here. And those tend to be very important targets or potential areas where we're going to find support and resistance. And of course, I go into a lot of depth in this in my trading with market profile and volume profile course, if you're interested to learn much more on the strategies I use with this. Value area high low, I'm going to put this in orange to match the point of control. So basically this marks the limits of the 68% value area. So right here, 68% of the time traded, and then this is the volume profile, and the value area here, this is 68% of the total volumes traded. In market profile is 68% of the time traded. Okay, so that's the difference. They're associated closely, but the values of value areas and points of control are not always going to match, because one is based on time, one is based on volumes. Then TPO midpoint, there's a midpoint here which I never really use, and the open and the close price. This is important to mark, because that way you know here, like we opened right over here and we closed right over here. Okay. Initial balance range. So this is the first hour of trading. So mostly this is applicable to futures markets from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. It's a little hard to see here, but basically there is right here this white bar on the left side of the profile that is going to mark off the A and the B periods and the range that it formed. Like right over here, you can see we have this little opening range from here. We opened right here, and then in A and B period, this was the range that we had. So this is the opening range, and this is used in a lot of strategies based on the day types or based on the market if we broke through. So if I turn this into a 30-minute chart, then you can see here that in this case our opening range was from the open price here to the top of the A and B period. So right here, this is A and B period, first 2 half an hour. So the first hour of trading in the market. Oh, but actually, sorry, this is the extended trading hours. So we would actually look at this over here. So this is the opening range. So you can see in this case, this was a very wide opening range here from the top of the A period to the bottom of the B period during regular market hours. And then you can see here how we had some resistance at the top of the opening range, but then we had a breakout, a very nice retest, and a continuation, for example. Okay, so opening range again, or initial balance, whatever you want to call it, is the first 2 periods. If you're looking at Forex, you can have an opening range, let's say at the Europe or London Open and one at the New York Open. For crypto, I mean, I don't really use this in crypto to day trade. I don't know how reliable it is, but I think I've heard people say that they just use midnight UTC as the opening range for it. Okay, so that's all the values and things we have. Volume profile, this setting basically lets you choose if you want to display the volume profile or not. If you take it off, you can see that then they just disappear. And then values, if you enable this, you're gonna have to zoom in a lot depending on how low the tick count is on the indicator. But when you zoom in a lot, you can see it shows you the total volumes traded at each tick level that you have displayed over here. Again, dependent on on what number you're using on the ticks per row. Okay, so that's the values. Value area, high, low, point of control. Right over there. And this ones you can change the thickness and the type of lines that you're going to be using. So let's say I just do it like this. Single lines. So then you can see right here on my volume profile, I have value area high, value area low, and point of control highlighted. Placement left or right, I always like to just have it on the left. Sessions, if you select electronic trading hours, there's going to be all the hours available of the day. So like here in futures is basically going to show you from 6 to 6 p.m. If you want to just split it, the bad thing is you cannot split it into extended and regular trading hours. If you select regular trading hours here, all it's going to do, it's just basically just going to, I don't even know if it's going to display it, but it should display pretty much, oh yeah, it's right here. So it just displays the trading from 9:30 a.m. Eastern until 5 p.m. close, and then the next one, etc. Okay, and see if this happens that it sort of disappears, that means your tick count is very low. So again, you can go manual for the row size, or you can just turn this up. So if I just make it, let's say 10, then it's going to be displaying easier. Okay, and then let's see what else. And that's it. Precision, I have it as default, and UTC New York. Adjust for contract change. This is when in futures, if there's like a rollover, then it's just gonna adjust it there. Okay, and let's just look at it. Let's go into Euro US dollar quickly, just to show you that this can be used in all markets like Forex, crypto, stocks as well. So here is the Euro US dollar profile. You can see it looks pretty chunky. So I can go in here. Let's put it on auto. And see, you put it on auto and it looks so thick. So that's why I don't like. Let's put manual. Let's put this at 5 and see what definition we get. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So that is Euro US dollar on a 5-tick definition. And there you have your volume profile, your market profile, your value areas and points of control highlighted, open and close, your initial balances, and then your poor highs and lows, and your single prints. Like right here, you can see we had a single print here on this impulsive move. The last thing I'm going to talk about here is if you right click on the profile, you're going to have three options here at the bottom. Split profile this letter, merge with previous, reset all merges. This split profile at this letter, honestly, I mean, I've tried using it, but it's not very precise. Like, I can go here and I can make this into a letter profile and zoom in. So I guess, let's say I want to split this on the C. I can right click here, put split profile at this letter. But, you know, for me, it doesn't really have a use for me to split it at a specific letter. I know some people might split profiles to fit it when they're doing profile composites, but I don't really find the use for it. But see, you can see here, so I split it into the A, B period, and then this is the rest of the periods, okay? So then you can click reset all merges and it goes back, okay? The next thing that is useful, and I'm just gonna zoom out here, and let me just take off the volume profiles so it looks cleaner. Let me take off the singles and the poor highs and lows so it just looks a little bit cleaner. But the next thing that we do with profiles is making composites. A composite is basically when we have a bunch of market profiles or TPOs that are like overlapping, and we have an area that the valley areas are like overlapping. Let's say we have all these valley areas like this here, and there's overlap on all of them. Then you can fuse these four profiles together into one big profile with one big valley area, and this would be a 4-day composite, basically, is what we would call it, okay? So in this case, let's say we have this group of this 5 profiles, which you can see we have an overlap here on all the valley areas. So what I can do is I right click on it, I put merge with previous profile, and that's going to turn this two into a single one. Then I go again, merge with previous. Takes a little bit of time to load. And I just keep doing this until I have all 5 of them together in a single one. Okay, and you see right here, we turn those 5 trading days from here all the way to here into a single one. Now we have one big valley area right over here, and this tends to be pretty important levels in the future, because basically what this is showing us is that there was an agreement in the auction between buyers and sellers around this general valley area that we have here. And so we're going to track the levels of the valley area. And also, just like in volume profile, you know, we have all these areas of like high volume nodes, let's say, even though this is not volumes, but basically high nodes of time in this case. And then we know that the areas where we have little single prints, this is like the equivalent of low volume nodes in volume profile, where we have areas of rejection. Okay, so then, for example, here, as you can see, this market pushed up, it closed pretty much right at the valley area low. Next day we opened, and then you can see we had a push up into what was pretty much the point of control of the composite, and then we had a rejection, and we actually ended up closing very bearishly for the end of the day. So these areas tend to act as magnets because, as you know, price goes from a balance into an imbalanced state and is generally looking for previous areas of price acceptance. Okay, and when you want to get rid of this, you right click and then you click on reset all mergers and splits, and is going to take us back into the 5 separate trading days over here like this. Okay, so that's pretty much the video. We covered every setting and every option for this indicator. Again, I have other videos on this on my channel here, so make sure to check that out. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any other content. And if you want to learn more, like I said, there's a lot of strategies that I share in my market profile trading course if you want to go through the link in the description. Okay, hope you're having a great week, and I'll see you all. Talk to you soon.